Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this ASUS notebook PC model F512D. Alright, so we're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove these screws from the bottom. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. So the way you do that, remove the screw, put them flat side down like this on your desk in the pattern you remove them. Alright, so we got 3 going along back here. Then we got 3 kind of going along the center, and then 4 along the front opening. Okay, so let's just remove all those. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these all out. It is actually 4:14 a.m. right now. I'm working on this computer really late at night. This one actually has a broken screen. I actually tested it with an external monitor and it seems to work okay. If you happen to mix up the screws, the 4 down here are shorter than the rest. I don't know if the other 6 all seem to be about the same. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and see if we can pop this out using a suction cup. So I'm going to hold on the little area here and see if we can pull this up. And it doesn't look like it's going to come up easily. Okay, so this cover seems like it's going to be tough to pop open. Wow, yeah, this is going to be tough, isn't it? Okay, let's see if we can pop it out this way. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up the computer. Oh, also the model number, or it goes by ASUS VivoBook 15. Okay, so I think a lot of people are probably going to know that model number instead, ASUS VivoBook 15. It's really hard to see. You can actually see that the screen is cracked if I move it in a certain angle. You can see there's like a line kind of going up like that. Okay, so let's see if we can pop this cover off. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try and get my fingernails in this gap here, and I'm going to use my thumb to push on the cover. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, you don't want to push on the trackpad area, so you want to skip over that, go over to the other side, and same thing, okay? And then as you can see, I can use my thumb here, avoiding the trackpad, and then kind of pulling back. And we're just going to continue going around. Okay, same thing for the sides. You can see it's coming out relatively easily. Oops, I accidentally clicked it back down. Okay. Let's see, if we close this, which side are the things on? Okay, so it looks like this part is just a cover. So what I'm going to do now that we got it partially open, I'm going to pull up here and slide my fingernail along the gap to kind of pop the clips, and you can see it's popping out. I'm going to rotate it and do the same thing on this side. Just run your fingernail or plastic pry tool, whatever, along there. Okay, we got most of it. The back is still kind of stuck. Let me see, where does it clip? It looks like the clips kind of extend all the way up there. So this might be a little tricky to remove because the clips do run up under here. So let me see if I can pull that out using my fingernails or something. Right, and I don't know, that's going to be tough. This corner is kind of coming up already. See, sometimes wiggling this around might help. Did I? Okay, I did get all the screws. Let's see, does wiggling it forward and backwards help at all? Kind of. Okay, so that popped a clip in the middle. What I was doing was basically pulling and pushing the cover like this, okay, slightly. And you can see now this part's lifting up more. We're going to kind of wiggle it, and there we go. All right. Feels kind of heavy. Wow. Alright, so here you can see what it looks like inside. You got all this copper stuff to kind of help with heat dissipation. Okay, not really much else in here. It looks like there's a empty slot here for a hard drive. If you get a connector, I think you can get a SATA connector for this. And yeah, it looks like there's an empty space for that. I'm going to set the cover aside here. This is a bit dusty, so I am going to clean it a little. Okay, I should probably take this outside and blow the dust out. The design is a little strange, so let me actually show you how this works in a bit. Let me get this dust out real quick first. It's actually not too bad. There's no... Okay. All right, so the way this works, there's actually this thing here that channels the air. So when this goes on here, basically what happens is the air gets sucked through this hole, and then it blows the air through here, and that goes through this way, and then it comes back out the air vent here. Okay, there's also an air vent on the side here, though I guess that helps the air flow up over this piece and then go here. This isn't a very good cooling design because there's not much surface area here. Normally you want the radiator heatsink where there's like all these metal fins that blow air through, but this GPU only has these little thin area and the CPU only has that area, so that's not a very good cooling. Anyways, we're gonna pop the RAM out here. I don't know if we're gonna see anything, but let's zoom in. The main thing here that we're doing is we actually need to disconnect the battery so we can work on the screen. So actually, let me disconnect the battery first. If you're just doing the RAM or the SSD, you don't need to do that, but you do need to make sure the computer's off. So to remove the battery, you slide this latch back. Once you do that, you can actually pull the connector up just like that. And as you can see, now the battery's disconnected. You don't have to, again, remove the battery completely, but if you want, you do have to remove the 3 screws holding this metal bracket in place. Okay, and then you can actually take this metal bracket out, and then there's a screw holding the battery down here. Sorry, I'm kind of running out of desk space. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. There we go. So then after you do that, it looks like you can lift the battery out, but all these wires are threaded around it, so you would have to move all those wires out. There's all these wires going threading around the battery. So again, I don't want to remove that. All right, so looking at this, there's there's multiple cables here. So this dark colored one is keyboard backlight. You got this one for the keyboard, and then there's 2 cables here. Since I'm not taking stuff out, I can't exactly tell you what each cable's for. I think, did this trackpad have a fingerprint sensor? Oh, it does. Okay, so this cable is likely for a fingerprint sensor, and this one is likely for the touchpad or trackpad. All right, anyways, now that I've disconnected the battery, I'm gonna press and hold the power button here for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This will make it a lot safer to work on and will greatly reduce the risk of damage to the computer if you happen to pull something incorrectly or drop something conductive on the board. All right, it's been about 15 seconds, so we'll move that. All right, let's see. How does the screen connects over here? Nice thing with this design is the wireless antennas. Let me actually zoom out. I'm gonna get a thumbnail here because I forgot to do that. So let's get a somewhat close zoom here where we can kind of see the whole thing and stop this thing from wobbling. Okay, anyways, wireless antennas are actually right here. I believe that's both wireless antennas wrapped around, stuck to this, and then you see the black and white wires going over here, and black wires to the black arrow, white arrows to the white wire. Okay, you got the speakers. They're both connected with this cable all the way here to this one, and these kinds of connectors, you just grab the wings and wiggle and pull it out. These ones have these little wing latches that you flip up, and then you can connect the cables in. If you're curious how to do it, I'm not going to show close-up of everything because on this model, I'm just trying to fix the screen for them, so I don't want to take everything out and risk damaging. This is an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, and the RAM, let's actually pop that out and see. There's no label here, so I don't know, but this is DDR4 or PC4 RAM. Okay, so if you need that, and also they have this white line for where the airflow goes. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we have to I don't know if I have to remove this. I guess let's remove this little foam triangle here. Hopefully it comes out easily. Okay, it looks like it comes out relatively easily. Hold down the LCD LVDS cable. You don't want to yank on it too much, and we're just going to peel that out and move that out of the way. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to disconnect the LCD screen cable. Again, make sure that you disconnected the battery and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds before attempting this. All right, we're going to peel this sticker up, and then at the wings here, I use my thumbnails. we're going to use that to help pull this connector out. All right, just like that. And once you get that connector out, you can pull this back and lift it up. We're going to unthread the wire from this area here. And now what we're going to do, we're going to open up the screen. Let me actually zoom out a bit. Okay, so we're going to open up the screen. The best way you can do this is you actually have it resting off the edge of your desk like this. But that's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see. I don't know if I can show you that. So let's see, do I have a box that will make this doable? Kind of, not really, because it would have to go up pretty high. Anyways, what we're going to do, we're going to remove these two screws here. Keep note of where the screws are, okay? All right, we got two screws on this side. Again, take note of it. I'm holding this up just so the screen doesn't just plop out once I get the screws out. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to go over to the other side. Again, I'm going to keep trying to hold this up. You want to be careful because now that one hinges out, you can see how it can kind of move around. So you want to be careful not to like drop that. Okay, then we got one screw down here. Again, it helps to do this with it hanging over the edge of your desk. So that way the keyboard is actually just flat on your table and the screen is hanging over. And that makes it a lot easier. But anyways, we're going to get this screw out as well. Okay, and then what we do is hold on to the screen and let the bottom part kind of come out. So basically you would actually lift the screen out if you had it resting the way I was talking about. Okay, we're going to set the computer aside for now. Then what we're going to do to remove this, there's two little plastic covers here that are covering the screw holes or the screws. So we're going to have to use like a small flathead screwdriver or something. So I'll just take like a small flathead screwdriver. Let me see if I can zoom in and show this at least on one. Okay, and what you do is you just get in the edge here. Okay, get in the edge, and then we're gonna just pop this thing out. It can be a little bit tricky. Just find a place where you can kind of get underneath and flip this up just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna actually just stick this over here so it's easy to find later. Okay, got thermal paste stuck on my thumb. There we go. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. Oops, I dropped my screwdriver. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm going to rotate it this way so you guys can see. I did take these out before, so they probably are a bit easier to remove than normal, but basically just lift that out so that you can uncover the screw hole. Okay, again, I just stick it there. All right, and then we'll just remove the screws from both sides. All right, keep track of, again, which screw goes where. Same thing with the other side, we'll remove that screw. Okay, so we got that. Let's actually zoom out so you guys can see more. I did pop this screen bezel out before. Parts of it are pretty difficult. Basically, you want to pull up from the center. We're basically like rotating it like this, okay? And let's see, is that how I did it last time? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that pops it out. Okay, so just pull it up like that. So basically we're kind of rotating it like this. All right. One of the clips on the side were actually extremely difficult to remove, and I think it actually like bent or broke a little bit of it, but we'll see. All right, so same thing, kind of pull the middle inside part up and then rotate it. Okay, actually this one's coming out quite nicely, and oh, the bottom parts are the ones that are the tough ones for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, all the cats are like meowing. What is going on out there? All right, I don't know why the bottom parts are much more difficult. Let's go ahead and go on to this side and remove these. Okay, what the cats are doing out there. Okay, you can see it's coming out. It's a bit difficult, but there you go. You kind of have to like wiggle it and move it around until it kind of releases. As you can see, this one though, I don't know why these ones down here are somewhat of a pain. I don't know what's going on with that. And I think these are the ones that I kind of had to just pull them really hard, and then it kind of will get damaged a little, because I don't think there's a way around that. It doesn't want to come out. Getting my fingernail. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, this one has a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, it's broken a little bit, but I can't really do anything about it. I don't know why. These ones are just, the bottom ones here, for some reason, they're just stuck in there really strong. I mean, it clipped back even after it was already broken, so unless it's already like that and it's designed to be pulled like that, that's kind of weird, but there we go. Oh, this one actually, as you can see, it didn't crack, but it is like pulled out a little bit different. Okay, and then the bottom part here is not as bad, so we're just gonna kind of pull this. There is this part that releases as well, so I just kind of, if I can, if I can't, then I can't, but let's see, we're gonna go along here, pull this out, and likely we're gonna have to, yeah, I'm gonna get like my fingernail in this little gap here, and there we go, we can pop that out. You can get like whatever little thin plastic pry tool, but this part is pretty tough to kind of pull, but it is what it is. All right, try and form a gap and then get that in, and there we go. Let's see, can we get this out now? Oh, it clipped back into place on its own. Come on, why'd you do that? Stay unclipped. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna keep my fingernail in there so it doesn't clip itself back into place, and hopefully, yep, there we go. Okay, same thing with this side, keep that unclipped, and kind of wiggle and pop and pull this. Okay, this side for some reason is stuck. I don't know why, but it is. Come on, let go. It's stuck on this corner actually here. Okay, there we go. So now we got that out. Sorry, I know it's like kind of going out of view of the camera, but there we got the bezel out. So if you did somehow break this beyond like use, I guess you can somewhat replace, you can find another one and replace this, but it holds itself together really well. All right, anyways, we got the replacement screen. I haven't opened it yet. My address is on there, so I mean everybody knows my address already, I think. But anyways, let's cut this thing open. Is it raining outside? Sounds like it might be raining actually. Okay, there we go. Got that open. Thank you for purchasing this with us. It's thin, be careful, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna get this out. Interesting, they only wrap one side with bubble wrap. I would think it's very fragile, so they would wrap both sides, but they didn't. So this is what we have. We gotta be very careful peeling this tape off. Okay, just like that. And this side as well. Oh, did they tape it on multiple spots? Well, let's put that tape out of the way. What is this? Why is there more tape here? What the heck? Okay, well, got the screen out here. Gonna take this out, set that aside. Alright, so it says remove screen film from corner, do not press too hard, install front bezel or it will damage. Contact us first for return or orders. Alright, anyways, we're gonna peel this off. And I want to be careful because I don't want to risk damaging the screen here. Okay. Alright, the tape's stuck to my hand. Get off, please. Alright, we're going to peel this off too if we can. I don't know why there's tape here that's not really holding anything. Maybe they had it taped to something else before. Okay, the way this screen works, I'm kind of wondering how it holds into place because I don't see anything that would hold this. Okay, is the screen attached to this? Let's go ahead and remove these little hinge screws here. So maybe it's being held on there, I don't know. Like that, remove this one. Okay, can we lift? Okay, the whole screen comes out with this. So I guess that means it's attached to the hinges. So I guess we have to remove all the hinge screws, which is kind of gonna suck. This cable, we're gonna have to make sure that we put it back right. It kind of just curves around. It coils around and then goes in here, okay? So let's go ahead and actually remove all the hinge screws because that's what we gotta do. There's 3 screws on each hinge at the bottom, okay? So we're gonna remove all 3. I'm probably gonna add some red thread locker after this to make sure the screws don't come loose. Okay, this kind of sucks that we have to take this whole thing out like that. All right, and then we got 3 screws on this side as well. The furthermost outer screws are actually reserved for the bezel, those 2 silver screws that we took out earlier. So keep that in mind. Don't accidentally put the screws in those holes and then block it. All right, let's see if we can. Oh, the hinges come out separately. Okay, so the hinges just come out like that. We can set them aside for now. And then it looks like they tuck a piece of the metal for the screen into there. So we should be able to just lift this out now. Okay, there's the cable all attached over here, so I'm gonna be careful because I kind of don't want to remove that. Let's see, can I just flip this forward and do it this way? Possibly. Yeah, I can. So we're gonna, it's gonna be hard to record this. We're gonna tip this down like that. And just like every other screen that I replace, we're gonna use this to cut underneath this adhesive for this plastic tab. Okay, basically we're just releasing this plastic tab here, and then we can go ahead and release the LCD connector. Is that cutting it? What in the world? So this plastic tab is actually very fragile, it looks like, because it's actually looks like it got cut. Okay, anyways, let's see if we can peel this off. Okay, we can. Alright, so now that we got that, just like every other LCD connector, we're just going to pull it back. There's not much room or slack here to show this, so I'm going to have to just kind of do it. There we go. Oh, and the cable's trapped under this screen, so I got to move that out of the way. Okay, so the cable goes around like this. Actually, you can disconnect the cable from here to make it easier to work with. Let me see, I'm going to show that because that will actually make it a lot easier. Okay, so what we're going to disconnect the cable here. I'm just using, I'm going to use my fingernails at the wings of this connector, and I think we can just wiggle this to pull it out. Is it coming out? There we go. Alright, and then just take note of which way the connector goes. You can see, looks like that. You can actually see the metal pins. So the wires here that you can see through the back, you want it down. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. We'll set this aside as well. Let's take a look at the screens because it looks like it's not an exact replacement. It looks like it's a compatible replacement part, which I don't know why, but they always send compatible replacement screens. They don't send the exact models anymore. Okay, so I want to make sure these, let me zoom out here. Okay, I want to make sure all of this lines up. It looks like it lines up pretty well, so we're probably okay with that. This one, the screen's all metal backed. This one you can see is different. Okay, they also cover the model number of the screen itself because they don't want you to know what kind of screen they're actually giving you. This is the original screen, as you can see, LM156 LF5L. So that's the actual screen. I don't know how I'm going to transfer this over. So we very likely have to transfer these metal brackets over to hold the screen in place properly. So how do we get this off? It's held in with a strong adhesive, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I can get underneath using this plastic razor blade. But I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Shoot. Okay, I can kind of get under there. Looks like it's semi-working, but this is going to take like a lot of force, and I'm probably going to have to go very slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that up. I'm going to get these popsicle sticks and get that in there, and we're just going to kind of work our way down and see if I can just continue shoving the popsicle stick down. Okay, and we're just going to continue shoving this popsicle stick in there. Yeah, this is going to be tough, guys. All right, well, I'm going to show this whole process just so you can see what you have to go through if you're going to swap this stuff over. Okay, you can see this is going to be a pretty big pain. Going to keep going. It might help to use some heat here, but I'm just going to keep going like this. Looks like it's working. Okay, so we're getting there. Alright, I'm just shoving the popsicle stick further and further down as we continue peeling this thing up. Alright. I'm going to end up jabbing myself with the razor blade. Okay, just trying to get the popsicle stick further in. Alright. It's a huge pain. Alright, I'm going to get another popsicle stick and see if I can get that in there, kind of. Okay, you can kind of use it to help pry it up, it seems. But I think if you work on it too hard and push too hard, you probably will end up damaging something. Well, we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, there we go. We got that out. You can see the adhesive there. So we're gonna transfer this over to the replacement screen. Okay, let's get the replacement screen here. And we're just gonna get that, line that up, and get this into place. Okay, I'm guessing, let me double check how it's aligned on this one. So there is a slight gap there. Okay. So I don't know if it's all the way down to here, and I think you just have to kind of get it centered a little to have this gap kind of lining up with the gap here. So I think they actually slide it kind of almost completely all the way up. But I could always just mount this first into the screen. I think that's what I might do. We're gonna mount that in first, and then after we get that, then we'll just drop the screen in. Okay, so I'm gonna get this side out as well. We're gonna do the same thing. It's messaging me right now. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get this one out. Same thing. I'm gonna use this thin plastic razor blade to try and get underneath here if we can, wherever we can start. Can we start from here? Because this one, I'm left-handed, so this side's actually a little bit more difficult for me. Okay. Okay, I guess we can somewhat start here, but wow, that's like really tough. It doesn't want to move. Come on. Ow. Okay, so we're getting under. I accidentally jabbed my finger on there, but it looks like I'm okay. I didn't get cut. But you want to be careful, okay? Good. Now we can go ahead and continue using the popsicle stick method. This method seems to work really well. And this side's actually coming out easier. So I can actually now just use my hand and pull this up. It looks like. There we go. Okay, so we got that one out. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put all these tools away. We'll set that screen aside because that screen's broken. Okay, so we got these, and what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take this back cover plate. I don't know if any of the information on here is useful. There's like some numbers here. Focus, camera, focus. There you go. So I don't know if you need any of the numbers there. If you do, There you go. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this back into place here. So I'm gonna just line these back up, okay, just like this. Line that back up, just like that. Make sure it's lined up right. Okay, looks good. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put these two small screws up here first. Is this not lining up right? Okay, make sure it lines up right. You can hold that down into place, and then we'll tighten that screw down. Good. All right, get the other side. Take this and make sure it lines up, and tighten this screw down. Okay, next thing we can actually put the hinges in first, I believe. So we're gonna line that up. Okay, and again, I'm gonna actually be using some red thread locker. We're gonna use very little. You don't wanna use a crazy amount, but we're gonna put that so that it doesn't move around. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so you can see one hinge a bit better. There's stuff all over my desk, so I have to be a little careful. Again, we don't want to put a screw in the furthest one. Okay, so we're just going to get a little bit of this stuff on there. Okay, just a little. Get that hinge in place, and then we're just going to get that screw, lock it down. All right, just like that. And we're going to do that for all three. Okay, just a little bit. Get that screw in. Okay, third screw. Okay, get that one in. All right, again, you want to leave the further outermost screws out. Okay, we're going to go over to this side and do the same thing. All right, we'll get the hinge here, and we'll get that lined up into place. Okay, same thing, we just want a little bit of the red thread locker, not much. There you go, and we'll get this screw in. Go. We're just going to do that for all three. Okay. Just like that. And we'll get the third one. Alright, just like that. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to attach the cable to the screen first, okay, because that'll make it easier. So let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, let's get the replacement screen. I also want to make sure the screen is matte because I asked them to confirm. Okay, and yes it is. You can see it's not glossy. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to flip this over this way. We're going to get this cable back in. So, oh, actually, let's see how close I can zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, looks like we can zoom in pretty far. So we're going to get this cable, line it up. This is actually upside down. I don't like working on it this way. I'm going to have to work on it this way. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in some more for you guys. There we go. Okay, so we're going to hold this plastic piece out of the way. Get this all lined up. All right, and then, oops, stay in place, please. Gotta kind of use this plastic to help hold it, and then I'm going to use my fingernails at the outer edges to pop it into place. You can actually feel it click. There we go, and then we can tape this back over the top. If the tape feels like it's not really sticking, you can actually put tape on top of it, but this tape is sticking down well, so we should be okay. All right, let's zoom back out a little bit. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get the screen and we're going to drop it into, oops, I'm going to drop it into here. Okay, kind of want to get it lined up. All right, and I think you want to actually line up the bottom here because when I opened it, the top actually has a gap here on the original screen, so I guess we'll just have it like that. Okay, and then we do want to plug this cable in, which I probably should have done first, because now I have to kind of tuck this underneath. Let me see if I can show you guys what I mean. I'm gonna do this upside down again so it's easier for me to see. Okay, so this cable, it has to tuck and hook all around this area. Okay, so you want to tuck it under there like that, going through here. And the tricky part is now, how are we going to get under there? So I guess we can slide this underneath. Okay, all right, that works. Get that all lined up. Make sure it's 100% lined up before you pull the connector in. You don't want to pull it in at an angle and then damage that, because if you do, the camera is not going to work. It might help to use tweezers or pliers, I think. Let me actually rotate this again and see if that will help me at all. Okay, connector is down here. Okay, so let's see, how can I do this? So we're going to line it up. That's tricky because there's not much room to pull it in. So I'm going to hold it like that, and can I? Yeah, that's going to be tricky. I don't know if I can really show this part on camera. It's kind of tough, but I'll do what I can. Okay, I'm going to try and use the wing here. Okay, that worked. So I lifted up one of the wings, and then I used my thumb to push the rest. And now I'm going to use both my thumbs to push the wings of that connector in to kind of latch it down into place. It looks like it's not in all the way. Come on. Is that in? Oh, I pulled it back out. Okay, get back in there, please. Okay, I'm going to do what I did last time. Hopefully you guys can actually see. So I'm going to grab this wing of this part of the connector. Okay, it's a little tricky here. Come on. Grab that wing. Help guide that in. Oop, it's not working. Guide that in and use my thumb to guide the other half in. There we go. Okay, and we got that in place. Now again, we're going to pull that in. It looks like it doesn't want to go anymore, so I think that's as far in as it goes. I probably should have paid a little bit closer attention, but I think that's it. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to move anymore, so I think we're good. All right, let's rotate this back over, zoom out here. So this cable, it wrapped around here. It goes into these cable guides as well, so make sure that you have the cable running through those guides, because if it's sticking out and the clips smash it, it can damage those cables. Okay, that kind of tucks under. Let's see if I can even show this. Okay, so it kind of tucks under and then wraps around and goes this way. All right, now we should be able to put the bezel back on, so let's zoom out here. Oh, zoomed out way too much. All right, so let's get the bezel. We're gonna put this back on. To put this, we do want to peel this off first. So let's grab the corner here and roll this back, just like this. There we go. Okay, we got that all peeled up. Now we're going to get this back into place. Clip that. Get this lined up. Make sure this goes down into the right slot. Clip that. Alright, and now let's go ahead and try and clip the rest in. Looks like this stuff is going to be a little bit tricky. Where's the... Okay, the clip is right there. So get that in. Push that, tuck that part down, and then we're going to work our way around here. Okay. And then we're going to work our way up the edges. You want to be careful. You shouldn't have to push really hard to get these back in. You should be able to just kind of angle the plastic frame bezel in a way that it makes it easy to click back into place, as you can see. Alright, so this is all snapping in really easily. Okay, oh, we do need to snap this side back down. So we're gonna pull that. There we go. Okay. There we go. Looks good. All right, make sure this is all clicked in as well. You want to click in the bottom part here as well as the part here. Okay, and looks good. All right, we're gonna put the 2 silver screws back over here. Okay, if you want, you can add thread locker to this as well, but I'm just gonna leave it without it. Okay, since it already has the other screws all with the thread locker, it should hold really strong. All right, let's go ahead and move these plastic parts back over to cover the screws. These are just there to kind of hide the screws. Okay, I'm gonna slide this one over and do the same thing. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm not like zooming in to give you guys good views, but there we go. All right, so we got the entire bezel back in, the whole screen installed, all those plastic things good. Let's go ahead and get the computer now. And we're gonna get these screws back in. Okay, what you could do, you can actually put the laptop in like this, oops, and then get the hinge lined up. And we can actually manually kind of pull these hinges over. You do want to be careful, make sure it doesn't get caught on anything while you're closing this down. Okay, and then carefully close that, make sure everything's lined up. And there we go. Okay, make sure it's lined up, it's getting caught. All right, and let's zoom in a bit. Okay, next thing we're going to do is put back those screws that we removed. Again, I'm going to put a little red thread locker just to make sure these screws don't come loose. All right, so we had this one here. Again, I just put very, very little. Okay. And we have the screw over here. Okay. There we go. Just barely touching it to a drop, okay? The screw. All right, and the last screw for the hinges. Okay, there we go. Close that up. We're done with the thread locker. All right, next we're gonna get the LCD LVDS connector back in. Let me zoom in here for you guys. Okay, so we have this cable running along the edge here, or the gap. And then we're gonna line this up. Let me flip it over. Okay. Same thing, you wanna kind of hold the plastic tab or the sticky part back. Okay, line it up. You don't want to use much force to get this into place. Okay, once you get it slotted underneath the little edges of that connector, then you can go ahead and use your fingernails at the corner edges of that, pull that in, you'll feel it click, and then you can go ahead and put this adhesive back down. All right, we're going to tuck these cables back over like before. Okay. I don't know if it actually has a little groove to go in, not really. All right, so there we go. We just tuck that back in. Let's zoom out here. So technically now we can just, oh, don't forget this piece. So there was this random triangle here. I'm not sure why this triangle is here, but it was like this, if I remember correctly. It's kind of weird, blocking part of the fan. I guess maybe it's to guide the airflow directly under this heatsink. Okay, so we'll put that foam piece back there. All right, now let's go ahead and reconnect the battery, and then we'll plug it in and make sure it turns on. So line this up, push this back into place. Okay, slide that latch back over. Okay, we should be able to power it back on now without putting the bottom cover on. So I'm going to open this up carefully. All right, let's zoom out and power it up. I probably need to plug it in. Yeah, nothing's happening. Let's press and hold. Nothing. Okay, let me plug this in and hopefully after that it should just turn on just like normal. Okay, I believe this uses, oh, actually it's turning on already. So I believe this uses the main battery as the CMOS or BIOS battery, and that's why after disconnecting the battery it takes a while to turn on. It's basically restoring the BIOS settings. Okay, it's still booting up. I'm going to hold this out of view because it's probably going to show customer information. All right, once it boots up completely, okay, you can actually see 2:24, Thursday, April 14th. So it actually, the date and time is wrong because right now it is 4:58, April 19th, 4:58 a.m. All right, so we're gonna open this up, and it's always a good idea to restart the computer one time after making any hardware changes. So I'm gonna restart the computer, and we should be good to go. We'll just have to close this thing back up, put all the screws back in, and that's all there is to it. So I'll close this up. We're going to get the screws back in, and that's pretty much it. Oh, if you're wondering, there's the fan connector here. There's a cable here that runs along to the 2 USB ports here, as well as the LED indicator lights. And yeah, not much else to this board, but let's get it back together. All right, so hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But that's pretty much it. All right, make sure to pop in the clips in the middle as well. All right, and we'll just get all the screws back in, and that's all there is to it. All right, you're welcome to stay as I get all these screws back in. Okay, again, it's a good idea to keep all the screws in order. I think this screw was a little bit longer. I wasn't really paying attention 100%, but yeah. All right, let's get all these in, and we should be good to go. Screws at the bottom here. And it took a lot more work than I was expecting for replacing a screen on this. Not too bad, but a bit more work than I was expecting. All right, so there we go. I can flip this back over. Make sure that it restarted, and it did, and we're good to go. I'm gonna see, can I turn the brightness up, or is that the max? Oh yeah, we can. Okay, but yeah, that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. We're gonna just shut this down, and let's drop this. Bye.